party.
Tea party. And then we'll have, for the tea party, we'll obviously have like Scotty teacups and teapots and things like that we can, all of you can help with the decoration, painting and decoration, including the stairs, so that they won't fall off the ground while we're doing the show. Yes.
You have stage directions, you have tech directions, and then you have your actual script, dialogue. So we're not going to worry about reading the set directions, okay? So when you start reading.
I'm Leah Connor. I'm the president here at Main Street Theater, and I co-directed Children's Theater Workshop this summer with...
I'm David Woody. I'm the vice president of production, and I co-directed the Children's Theater Workshop with Leah, and this was our fourth year.
Fourth summer to do so, yes.
Good question. Why do you do this?
Because we are crazy. In the head, clearly. No, we do it because, I mean, I do it, I think David, for similar reasons, because we want to inspire kids, especially kids who have an interest in theater, to explore that passion, to build on that, to learn about theater. For some of them, they don't even have that opportunity in school anymore, especially those that are in smaller schools. So this is a way for them to get into it, learn about it, have an opportunity to be on stage to see if it's something that they really do love. And if it is something they really do love, to stick with it, go with it, learn about it, and let it become part of their lives and be something that they can really get into.
How do you find these kids? Or
Well-
how do they find you?
Well, usually we've been doing this, Leah's been with me doing this for 4 years, and prior to that, I had a year where I had taken it back over, and she was instrumental in that being a good year, and she came on board at that time, which is why the program's still running. It's basically word of mouth is a lot of it, and the fact that our history here at the theater is that we do have a program, and people do have an interest, so they, look for the information, newspaper, Facebook,
Yeah.
radio, general media outlets, advertising to let people know that, we're doing it and when.
And we have a lot of families, I mean, that's the word of mouth issue, but we have a lot of families who bring their kids and they have such a good time that they think of friends of theirs or family members of theirs that they think would like to do it, and they make sure that they sign up the next year. That's a lot of the way we get new kids, is just someone saying, oh my gosh, my kid had so much fun doing this year, I'm gonna make sure that so-and-so gets involved next year.
First day, tell me what it's like. What do you do? What do you hope to accomplish on the first day?
Well, we hope to explain the rules in such a way that the kids get the rules, and that within the first hour we have them all in seats and listening, right?
Yeah.
And
Goal number one.
yeah, goal number one, in seats, listening, being respectful, and so that we can actually start. And then traditionally, I mean, as I remember it, traditionally David always walks them through sort of history of theater on day one.
Mm-hmm. The whole idea behind the workshop is not just to do a show, but it's to give them some actual experience working in all parts of the theater. And to be a part of the theater, you need to understand what it is and where it came from. And so it's like a thumbnail sketch. It's a, real, not comprehensive, but, give them an idea of where things are from. and then stage movement, some of the basic definitions that they'll be working with. And we have the kids, each child gets up and introduces themselves and their name and something that they like to do. And you use that a little bit as an assessment tool to find out exactly how outgoing, how much, work someone's possibly potentially going to need to come out more and to be more open to be on stage. And Mac was awesome this year.
Well, he had improved quite a bit. Like, we have kids that have been here for so many years that we get to see improvements in them. Like, maybe the first year they were here, they got up on stage to introduce themselves and say something they liked, and they were very quiet. They didn't, they could say their name and they could say what they liked, but it was very quiet, and you couldn't have heard it past the second row. And then by third or fourth year, they get up here, they say their name, they say something they like, and you could hear it on the street. Like, they're all of a sudden very comfortable, they've done it enough, and they are clearly ready for a bigger role or a larger place in the production, and it's evident to us. Like, that's what he means by we can sort of see what we're working with by giving them an exercise to do within that first day, or especially within the first week, pulling them up on stage and having them do things. That gives us an idea of how we're going to be looking at kids for casting right from the beginning.
How many did you have this year?
That was fluid.
It was fluid. That's a true statement.
This year more than in the past.
I think we normally try to kind of cap it off at 35. I think this year we started with around 30, but we ended up with about 25, I think, by the time.
Somewhere in that.
Yeah, by the time we were finished, which we always, go for 35-ish, but I sort of enjoyed it being, for the shows we did, I sort of enjoyed the cast size we had. It worked really well.
But out of the ones you ended up with, how many of those were repeats? Have you had before?
Half?
Yeah, I would say at least half of those.
Yeah.
So half your cast was newcomers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And anytime you're working with a program like this, that's always something you kind of shoot for. You want to have the new ones, because then they become the seasoned ones. Generally, the ages that we work with are from 7 to 17. We have worked with them as young as 5, if they, could read, and some of them. If they read and stuff, then we can take them on. The 17-year-olds, particularly the ones that have been with us for several years, tend to step up and take on a bigger role in not just productions, but in the workshop itself, helping out, working with some of the younger kids and stuff. So it ends up kind of feeding the program so that it continues to function and do what it needs to do.
Yeah, this year our older kids were, I think, I can't say enough about the older kids this year. They were phenomenal. They costumed both shows almost entirely with what they found here at the theater. Like, they spent a lot of time upstairs just going through everything that they could find, and they would see a shawl and be like, I can turn that into a lion's costume, and made it a perfect lion's costume. And they just did that on their own. Like, we really didn't tell them, please go do this. They just did it. They went and just did it.
They said, can we go and look at costumes? Yeah.
Yeah. And they did, pretty much costumed the whole show. Like, they told us if they needed something, they're like, okay, so we haven't been able to find a headband. Can y'all get us a headband? Okay, we'll get you a headband. But for the most part, like 95% of the show, they just put together on their own, made it happen, used hot glue or whatever they had to do to make costumes, and they just did it, like on their own. They made it happen.
Because they've done it in the
They've
past.
seen it enough, yeah.
And if they had an issue that wasn't working, they'd come to us and say, you know, this isn't working, what can we do? And we give them a couple of just little pointers and they'd take off and
Yeah, I
It'd
sort
get
of
done.
think that's our goal. Like, I sort of think that's the goal of this program, is to create kids who can become like sort of self-sufficient actors slash directors slash writers, like whatever it is they want to accomplish, whatever it is that their goal is. If they want to act, be great actors. If they want to direct, be great directors. If their goal is makeup, learn the best they can be for makeup. If they want to do costuming, learn how to do that. And we sort of saw this year with some of the ones who have been here a long time and are older, we definitely have accomplished that with a few of them, which is really cool to see.
And overall, the program itself, there are examples of people who started out in this theater in the children's program who have gone on to continue working in the medium or have been a part of maybe not the children's theater, but the theater itself, and have gone on to stay in, you know.
Yeah, bigger and better things like the real world.
And so that's part of, you know, one of the things you would like to have your children's theater group do is to remain part of the theater, even when it's maybe not summertime, you know, when there's an opportunity to work on something or be here, or if they get to 17 and they graduate, so to speak, that they're still coming back and being involved, because that's how you keep your theater going. Mm-hmm. And it's important. I guess that's one of the theater is important to the community and the quality of life that is available in a small town.
Yeah, and it always has to have new, you know, fresh actors and fresh talent, and the way to do that is to keep the young people always coming up in it and interested in it.
Do you already have the production in mind, or do you wait to see how many kids sign up before you choose a production?
We have a production for next year picked out.
Yeah, we have next year's picked out, and we generally always have it picked out before signups. This year we're way ahead, like we already have next year's picked, and that's really, we're really way ahead of the game this time.
And if things keep going, we'll probably have 2018's picked too. And that will be just like
the next week or two, we'll have the next two.
That'd be
productions
amazing.
picked. Yeah.
Do you usually do two separate plays?
Well, we started doing that when we changed up. We moved the workshop ahead into another phase last year with the older kids. Sometimes the older kids get a little bored doing the regular workshop stuff because they've been through it several times. And so one of the things we want to do is challenge the students. And so they wrote their first play last year. And that's when we kind of picked up doing the two shows. The more advanced group moved into a little farther ahead to get more experience and more training and more advanced work. The best way to do that is to do it. And so they wrote the show, and the theater produced it.
They
directed it. Costuming and stuff they did and got help with, and they wrote a good little show.
They did.
And then this year, the advanced group wrote a show, and the difference between the script that they wrote last year and the script that they wrote this year is amazing.
It was amazing. Like the improvement in just 1 year, like the improvements they made writing in just 1 year, I was blown away, because I thought last year was really cute and I was impressed by it. This year I was blown away by it. I was like, I can't believe they just came up with that, put that together, wrote it, and it had so many little symbolic pieces to it that tied both with the play the younger kids were doing and with like just everyone's general knowledge of Alice in Wonderland and the Wizard of Oz. Like they used so many elements, like intelligent, quirky little elements that they tied in, and also just set up the second play. Like I was blown away. Like, and like you said, just the difference in last year's and this year's, and it was pretty much the same kids writing it. I mean, so it's like they have developed so much in a year.
They took that first experience and did a great job with it, but they also took what they learned from that experience.
They cultivated what happened last year.
Looked at it and said, okay, and then they did this one. And they wrote it in less time. It was more complex. It was just a much tighter
I mean, they
show.
pushed the actors more even because what the content of what they wrote this year was more difficult to play out on stage also. So they were pushing the kids more also, but it worked. I mean, all of it worked, and it did what it was supposed to do. It flowed right into the next play. They were amazing.
Do you know where I can find the Mad Hatter?
I'm the Mad Hatter.
He's positively mad.
Bonkers!
Nuts.
It looks like you're all that way.
We're all mad.
That's what I just said.
Can I pour you some tea? Or would you like some tea?
I would love some. Could you pass the cream?
Of course, Cheshire Cat.
Why don't you sit down?
Why don't you sit down? Have some tea.
And then you two come up and come grab me. Yeah, and then while you're grabbing me and pulling me, I say, no, it's fine. You have to do it fast though. Like you have to grab me. No, don't it takes. I'm fine.
She's even more scary than the thing you wanted to bring in the forest.
Let's name these kids.
Oh, absolutely. Maddie Hall and Kelsey Horton. They were, in my opinion, like the leaders, like the top two leaders. Right behind them, Abby Beggs and Sadie Connor. Kelty Connor. Grace Mansfield. She's just a little firecracker. She just knows what she's doing. She's a young kid, but she just knows what she's doing.
And she was just she's one of those that's geared to learn.
Yeah.
She wants to learn. And she will put herself in a situation to learn.
Yeah, and she's the first one, Grace is the first one to have her lines, like no matter what we're doing, she's the first one to have her lines down and to be off book. Whether she's given a script way in advance or whether she's given it a couple days in advance, she's going to be off book and she's going to be ready. And that's just an amazing thing. Whether she's being directed by Maddie or whether she's being directed by us, she gets prepared and she's ready and she goes with it. So those kids were sort of the leaders in the older group, the more experienced group, because they have been here for 3 or 4 years at least. Some of them more than that, and they just took leadership roles this year and ran with them, never let go of them. They helped when and where help was needed, and didn't ever hesitate to jump in.
And these are things that they take away from here that they use out there every day.
Absolutely. It's not just an on-stage thing.
And a lot of them will come, you'll see them a few years down the road, and they'll come up and tell you, well, I'm doing this or that, And I couldn't have done it if I didn't know how to get up in front of people. And I can do that. So
I agree.
it's all happening here, but they end up taking away things that they can use every day that will help them out with other things. I mean, it's the ability to interact. There's a lot of that that's going away in our world.
Yeah.
One of the things that is difficult is when you are talking to a young person who hasn't been through a program and they can't make eye contact with you because they're used to the texting everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not used to an organic back and forth relationship. And it's kind of interesting to watch that all kind of change.
Yeah, well, and I feel like sometimes it's easier for those kids who are used to just the electronic conversation or means of communication. I feel like sometimes it's easier for them to communicate or to open up with another kid. Like the kids that we mentioned, Maddie, Kelsey, Abby, Sadie, Kelty, Grace, like they would take the other kids under their wings. If a kid was having trouble reading, they would come help them with their script. They would stand next to them and help them with their script. And it was easier for that kid to look up and make eye contact with another 10-year-old or
Right.
12-year-old or 14-year-old or 17-year-old than it would have been
For the scary me.
for maybe David or myself to stand next to them and do the same thing, because it was another kid at least. At least it was another person they felt like was more their level. So it worked out, and it's good because maybe, hopefully, the goal is that it'll be easier for that kid to interact with people instead of just technology, especially if they keep coming back to the workshop. Then it'll give them an art that is sort of being lost to a degree.
Who was your Mad Hatter?
Oh, Garrison Roller, and he was amazing. He was amazing. He was like, it was actually kind of funny. As soon as he came in, we were all like, oh
We
my
just looked
gosh,
at each other and went,
that's the Mad Hatter. Yes, he was just perfect.
no doubt.
So he's been here before.
No,
No, this was his first
This was
time.
his first time.
yes, first year.
And he came because Maddie and
Kelsey
Kelsey
encouraged
let him know
to
about
come.
it and encouraged him
Yeah.
to come, so he came. And did an excellent job.
Yeah, he was, I mean, the part, it's like he was made to play the part of the Mad Hatter.
She has big brown eyes, a most furry coat, and the curliest tail we've ever seen.
That's not it.
She has big brown eyes, the furriest coat, and the curliest tail we've ever seen. Just yet. That's what a Mad Hatter is.
Yeah, wacko.
Be big. Don't be afraid of it. Go.
Do we have to restart? Yeah.
Continue.
Okay, I forgot what.
I'll just say mine. She has big brown eyes, a most furry coat, and the curliest tail we've ever seen.
That's not it.
Then why do we love Dormouse?
Don't you get it, Mad Hatter? March Hare doesn't like me. No, Pipsqueak. I like you. I just don't understand it. Understand what? This is a tea party.
May I pour you a cup?
That's just it. Where's the tea? Where are the puppets?
They must be around here somewhere. Let's look.
When do you tell them what they will be doing?
Generally, we like to have that ready by the second week.
I was gonna say second or early third for sure.
Because we try to run 7 to 8 weeks for the program. And if you go less than 6 weeks for prep, in other words, learning the lines, doing the show,
Blocking and all that stuff.
it gets really tough to have a good quality production. Last year, we had 5 weeks.
It was,
for
yeah,
the
it was
program.
rough.
And it was very rough. This year we had more time, and it was.
It was still difficult.
There were a lot of things happening outside of our regular stuff this year that we didn't usually have to work, fight against so much, but it was harder. You set a goal up, you'd like them to be off book, at least 2 weeks before the actual opening. But that's, generally you understand that that's probably not going to happen.
But if we tell them to be off book
They really
by
work
2
on
weeks
it.
before, they work hard. So then at least we're, cross our fingers, assured that they will be off by the time we open. Like if we set that as a hard goal, please everybody be off book by, and it's like 2 weeks before, then at least we know, or we can feel fairly certain that everybody will be ready when the show opens.
Because there's so much you do when you're directing a show that requires the people not to have books in their hands, because you've got movement, you've got
Props.
expressions, you've
Yeah.
got props, you've got all of these elements that comprise and help finish out a character, and also just the general show itself. And if they've got the book in their hand and they're having to read, that's very distracting from being able to do what's called the polishing. And the polishing is what makes the show, when somebody sits down to watch it, really, be able to see what's going on. But generally, we want them to be off 2 weeks ahead of time so that they'll be ready when it opens.
Yeah.
So,
When do you put them in makeup?
well, let's see, they went into makeup.
We started,
The very first makeup, we did a couple of trial runs about a week before the opening. And then we had everybody into makeup for the first time. on
everybody at once.
Press dress.
Press dress night, which was the night before the show opened.
Okay, let's talk about your makeup people.
They were amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like truly, like professional level makeup artists. Alexis Hart.
And she had an assistant, Ryan Cruz.
Cruz, yes,
Ryan
Ryan Cruz. We didn't actually meet him until the week of the show. But they were absolutely amazing. They, for the first time ever, for the first time since I've been doing this anyway, maybe not ever, but for the first time since I've been helping David, the kids had to be here, especially the kids that had involved makeup, had to be here 4 hours before the show opened. Normally, the kids only have to be here like 2 hours before because makeup isn't really that big a deal. But for this show, we had prosthetics that had to be put on for animal characters, and some of the makeup was really heavy. Like Cheshire Cat had makeup like all over the body, and Mad Hatter obviously had very detailed makeup. So to get all of the kids in makeup in time for the show, Alexis and Ryan had to start 4 hours before the show opened. So it's a little bit different this year from that aspect because we were wrangling kids for essentially
5 hours.
7 hours every show because it was from 4 hours before the show started and then all the way through the show, and then until everybody got changed out of costume and out of makeup after each show. So it was very long nights and long days on Sundays, longer than normal for children. And I will say, they did amazing. Like,
Yes,
we didn't
they did.
have any, I was afraid of that. I was afraid that it was going to be awful, especially that 4 hours before. And it really wasn't. The kids did great. Most of the show, all the kids were on stage. Like, vast majority of the show, everyone was up here. So there wasn't a whole lot of noise and craziness backstage during the show that had to be taken care of. It worked out.
Where'd these people come from? Your makeup artists?
Alexis and Ryan. Alexis, we had one of our new kids this year, Caden Holland. Alexis was his aunt or cousin. I don't
it's his aunt.
remember which now. She was either his aunt or cousin, and she came in with him like the first day that he came, knowing that what show we were doing, knowing that it was Alice in Zombieland, so knowing that there was going to be
A lot of makeup.
some involved makeup. And she basically came in, she showed David and me some of her work that she had done, professional work she had done. She had worked at SeaWorld. She had a lot of professional photos of makeup she had done there. She showed us her stuff and she was like, I'd love to help y'all do makeup with this when it comes time. And we were both like, yes, please.
By all means.
So as it got closer to the end of the show, she started coming in and getting ready to do makeup. And when it was time, she jumped right in and made it happen.
She came in and we talked about basic design ideas on a couple of them, and she took those and she created these characters that were amazing.
Yeah.
They were just, it was really, really nice to see it happen, because they really added a lot. White Rabbit was amazing.
Yeah, White Rabbit and Dormouse had
Yeah.
these great little prosthetics on, and it was cute because they had little teeth that hung down, and the whole time they were on stage, they played with their teeth, with their mouth, and it just added everything to the show. It was really cute.
But Alexis is asked to be a part of next year's workshop,
Which will be another amazing opportunity for her.
And us, because of her work. It's really good. Now, you guys have worked on this really hard. You know your lines. You got your characters. Let's go out and do your show. All right? Project. Make sure that your voice is loud. Don't stand with your back to the audience. Don't stand in front of somebody else and block them. Be aware of where you are on stage, okay? Everybody good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, let's get ready.
Performance, opening night. What's going on in your head?
Dear Heavenly Father. No,
Please, please, please.
may I make it through this alive? No, actually, the paramount thing is wanting it to go well so that the kids can feel good about what they've done. That's all of these elements that have been being taught and brought together over a 7 to 8 week period of time. When the show opens, that's where it all comes together. That's where they get a chance to actually do it. I mean, and for most of them, it's a scary experience. And once they get through the first one, then they tend to
Relax a little bit.
and realize that all of the times that we say you need to read your lines, you need to study your lines, you need to know where you're supposed to be, and they have this feeling of, you'll tell them that a couple of days before the show, and it's like, oh, I know my lines, I know where I'm supposed to be. And then when they get out on stage, there will be, and that happens in every show, adult or children, there'll be some point where something will kind of go, and you recover and you move on. And
But then you realize, oh, that's a real thing. I really do need to know my lines and where I'm supposed to be.
And so then you'll start seeing a few of them, when you come in, instead of, their interaction going on so much, they've got the script out, or they're working their lines back and forth together. So they kind of get a shot at that, and it's a chance like, okay, now we've done this and we know more of what we have to do. And that's the best thing that can happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think the biggest thing is that we want them to be proud of themselves. It really isn't about whether or not the show is good or whether the show comes off perfect, or it really is, we need all of them to feel proud of themselves at the end of it. We need them to feel proud of what they've done and walk off the stage feeling proud.
they needed to know that the work and the time that they put in meant something, not just to, not just to us, but to them and to other people that see it. And that's I guess that's part of the whole reason we do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kids are important. And
Some of these kids don't really have other outlets either. I mean, some of them don't. Some of them don't really have other stuff that they do where they get much recognition, and, to do something that can make them proud of themselves and that they get to stand out in the lobby afterwards and have everyone come through and tell them how awesome they were. It's a big deal, and it's important that they get that.
Great job. You're so
Thank you. I didn't watch him today. Good job. Didn't see him. Didn't see him, but I believe in you. Good job, Good job. You did so good.
there are going to be some changes for the better that will make this program a lot. We're going to be able to take the children's workshop from where it is right now to miles and miles ahead in what is going to be happening and what can be done and what the kids can do and benefit from. One of the alumni of the Children's Theater Workshop, Tristan Pullen, is currently attending the University of
Santa Fe University of Art and Design.
And working with Tristan, he has designed an internship program where next year there will be 5 interns from the advanced class of that university that will be coming here to actually take over the day-to-day work of the children's workshop. Lee and I will still have some involvement and oversight and helping out, when we are there, but they will be here so that the program can go back to a lot more of its original concept.
Yeah.
When you're working in a community theater, it's all volunteer. Nobody here gets paid.
And they won't get paid either, but they'll have it for their resume, which is a big deal.
But like Leah is a very busy person, and she has 4 kids of her own, and I've been very busy with things, and it's very hard to be able to be here every day because of other things that happen.
Yeah, just life.
When we have these interns here, we'll be able to establish the program, reestablish it, and operate it as it was originally conceived. They'll be here like every day.
Every day, pretty much the whole day.
And they'll have a chance to have a much deeper immersion into what it is we've been trying to, let them experience. They'll have a whole day of where they do nothing but movement. They'll have a whole day where they talk about lighting and work with it. They'll have an entire day of makeup design and stuff.
Costuming.
They'll be able to do these things, and
They'll actually teach them different methods of acting. Even.
Exactly. And even some of the more advanced kids may have an opportunity to get some more directing skills and training. And this is all going to mean a much better theater. It's going to mean a much better quality of students coming out of it to go on or to stay here and work with it. And it will be a much greater benefit to the community.
And next year's
At
going to be
large.
a much larger, we're biting off a much larger production because we are going to have so much help. We're doing the Lion King Jr. Next year, and it will likely be at the Civic Center or the high school auditorium,
High school auditorium, yeah.
whatever it's called now, the old Civic Center. It'll be held there because it will be a much larger production, just because we will have so much more help to make it into a more true realization of what Children's Workshop sort of should be, sort of what our real vision for that is.
So there'll be lots of, all of the classroom work.
That helps, right? Sorry.
It is getting popular.
All of the classroom work and the preps and the rehearsals and practices will be done here for the most part until the last, before it has to be loaded in and set up. So they'll be ready to go and do it in a larger venue, because this show requires a larger venue
Sure.
than what our stage, because it's Lion King Jr., but it's still like the Lion King.
Still
There's a
all
lot
the
of
big props and
the puppets,
big music and
all that's
Yeah.
going to be part of it. So we need a larger venue to do that, and there's a venue available.
sure. So we
And
should
so,
use it.
it's one of those things that happens, that needs to happen, where people start looking at the arts and what they are in this community, and people need to start looking at it and saying, well, no, we can't do that, and saying, just how far can we,
Yeah.
how big can we go?
Like, why can't we? Why don't we try something different?
And hopefully reach more people and get them more interested so that we can rebuild membership and participation in not only the children's workshops, but in the adult theater. More people be interested and want to get involved because of the quality of what we have to offer the community.
Scarecrow! Why would you scare me like that?
I scared you? You should not sneak up on something like that. Didn't the wizard give you a brain back in Oz?
Alright. I just don't use it sometimes. Well, all the time. He didn't really give me a brain, he just had all the smart stuff.
Yeah, I can see that. So, why are you here?
I'm here to pick you up.
Well, I could have guessed that. How'd you get here?
Well, shortly after you left, the wizard invented a way to get you your world and back with no troubles. It's way better than the natural disaster way of getting here. So we thought we could keep it around.
And what was it the wizard invented?
A pop-proof bubble.
That sounds scary. Is it fun?
Oh yeah, it's really fun. And plus, the birds can't pop the bubble.
That sounds crazy. Does it make you go faster?
Well, when the wind is blowing, then yeah. But sometimes the wind is blowing in the wrong direction and gets you way off track. Other than that, it's really slow getting here.
Well, it must have been a slow trip today because there was no wind.
It was, but I got here. Glenda told me to come pick you up.
Why?
Well,
Wait, is there something going on in Oz?
Well, just a small problem. Glenda will explain more when we get to Oz. They're waiting on us though.
Who is they?
Lion, Tin Man, and Bluto.
Wait, I have to put Toto back in this room. destroy Oz, no one will have their happy ending. Let's see. All I need is the perfect spell. Some bird feathers. Crocodile tears. And some spider's hair. Perfect. Now, I'll let this brew while I get you ready, Monkey. Come here. Sit here. Here. Drink this. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. No, no. What is wrong with you? I need to find something to stop your monstrosity that you call dancing. Let's see. Now look what you've done! Not only did you spread my ingredients everywhere, you ruined the potion too! I could have used the potion for Glinda! She wouldn't look so powerful with her little munchkins dancing like a fool in front of them. But you ruined it, monkey! Oh, would you stop dancing? Stop dancing! Wait a minute! What is this? Monkey! Here, drink. Better? Perfect! Now come to me, my pretty! No, to me! Yes, the potion is finally complete, and now Oz will be mine! All mine! Okay, monkey, we need to work on that. Let's go. Keep moving. Hurry. Faster. Everything just looks so different. I see the bricks were replaced and the bushes were trimmed and what? Is this a new staircase?
Yeah, we had a huge breakthrough in funding. We were able to fix a lot of things for our house. Mine trimmed the bushes after we actually got him to hold the trimmers. He was scared they were going to snip at him or something. Oh, and you know that house they dropped on the east switch? Well, that had to go. So we sent the munchkins to... Oh, hi, Glinda. I was just telling Dorothy about our new renovations. Yes, we upgraded quite a bit since you last visit, Dorothy. And so have you. You're growing like a dandelion.
Why, thank you, Glinda.
Anything for a bright young lady such as yourself. Miss Glinda, are you going to tell Dorothy why she's here? Fine, she just arrived. I don't think we have time for romanticized visits. We need to stop the witch. What's the amendment? He really wants to save us. And we can't do it when we're here. We have to go to the witch's castle if we want to stop her. Oh, I'm sorry. Anything to offend you. I just really want to keep Oz safe. That's right, Timmy, and you're absolutely right. We have to stop her before she gets out of hand.
Wait, who is she?
The witch.
As in, the Wicked Witch of the West?
I'm afraid so, Dorothy.
Wait, no. I thought we got rid of her last one was here. Remember? The hot pail of water we threw on her and threw to the ground and said, I'm melting, and then she sunk into the ground?
Oh, yes, dear. It was a victorious day. We all celebrated by hosting a large she was running them up.
Then what happened?
Well, if you recall here, as my dear sister was naughty, she also said she would get revenge. A couple weeks after what I thought death, I got a letter from her. I thought that was the lady I requested my sister. Then another came the next week, then another, then another. And very usual, she would send them to me. I thought she was alive, but I still had my doubts. I would get a letter in the mail every week for several months. The last letter she sent said, "Sister, I really appreciate you keeping my hopes a secret. If you're still sure either I'm not alive or not, see to it that lightning will strike at my house with cement. Then you can be sure of my well-being."
So, what happened after that?
Sure enough, lightning struck. I had no doubt in my mind she was alive.
So, did the letters keep coming, or
No, the letter just stopped.
they stopped? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
You know as much as I do, Dorothy. We can only assume the worst when it comes to the wicked witch. She really is wicked. Which means, in order to find out what we're up against, we need all the help we can get.
That's why you sent her to get me.
Yes, Dorothy. When I was putting the team together, I thought that the team that defeated her in the first place should defeat her again.
Well, obviously, we didn't actually defeat her. We just slowed her down for a couple of weeks.
Have a little heart.
You know I can't do that.
And just why not, Tim Ann?
Because I don't have a heart.
Guys, now that's right. Guys. Now is not time to argue with each other. We need to get to the witch and stop her this time.
I see leadership skills have kept you track.
Thank you, Linda. Now, what's your plan exactly?
I'm sending you with Dorothy, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lime. You'll go to First Emerald City. There you will find a wizard. Tell him everything, then he'll know what to do then.
And you're not going to be with us?
I'm afraid not. All my munchkins have broken out into sickness. They have everything. Each munchkin has a different sickness. Swine flu.
Does swine turn the person into a pig, really?
Measles, scratchy throat, mad cow disease. I could go on forever.
That's horrible. I hope to get better soon.
Me too. It's terrible for them not to help us. You know they love doing that.
They aren't here, are they? I would want one turn into a pig.
Silly line. I kept them at home. I didn't want to make my hero sick.
Wait. You were around monsters all the time. You had to have caught something when you were around them.
Oh no! Oh no! My tin is going to rust! I can't get sick!
You're all silly. I can't get sick. Only my munchkins can.
Well, in that case, we better get going. We must get to the witch and stop her.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
You must hurry, Dorothy. I'll contact you if I find anything.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Guys, remember the first time we walked this path together?
Yeah, Dorothy, the witch tried to stop us. Don't worry, Ryan. The witch wanted to stop us. She would have stopped us by now. She doesn't like to get stopped herself.
That's awful smart, Tin Man.
Thank you. I guess you're right, but I'm still worried. Ryan, the witch is nowhere to be seen. The only witch we've seen so far is Glinda, and she is trying to help us. Besides, the worst thing she's ever done is accidentally put too much sugar in her sugar cookies.
Glinda makes the best sugar cookies.
I hope we live long enough to happen again.
With Dorothy leading us out, we will.
Couldn't have said it better, pal. I guess you're right. Do you think we can make it out? I already know what she will say, Lion. She will say, "Of course we will, Lion. We can do anything if we put our minds to it."
There's something wrong with Dorothy. Dorothy, you alright? She looks a little pale.
Do you think she's sick?
No, that's not it. Dorothy!
I'm sorry. I was thinking of Kansas and how
Oh, that boring old place that I picked you up from?
boring.
Do you still have your dog? What's his name? Photo.
You mean Toto?
That one too. The dog scared me. I don't blame you. The dog was kind of ugly.
Tin Man. It wasn't even nice.
Y'all should have seen Kansas. They had big, humongous fans in the middle of the field.
You mean windmills?
Those
Giant fence? That sounds scary.
It was scary, all right. Scary looking scarecrow. Oh, I'm sorry, Dorothy. We didn't mean to offend you.
It's fine. I was just born and raised in Kansas, and I really miss Auntie Em and Toto, and I just want to get back home. I only hope to see Oz once.
I don't blame you, Dorothy. This place is kind of scary.
Look up there, there's guards.
And that's the wizard's castle.
Well, what are we waiting on? Let's go.
Oh,
Who goes there?
we can let you in.
No, that's not true. Well, we actually can't let them in.
I know we can.
Excuse me.
I know we can, but that doesn't mean we can.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Hello.
Me and my friends and I would like to get in.
Do you have an appointment?
We won't let you in unless you're out.
Guys, do you think Linda made us an appointment?
I don't know, Dorothy. I guess you can ask.
We're not very good at talking. My friends and I would like to get by, and I believe that Linda the Good Witch made us an appointment.
Is that a witch that can whisper and a witch that can actually be a woman?
Glenda isn't evil.
Isn't Linda the one that comes to my tree all the time?
Glenda? Oh,
Oh, brother.
I won't say won't because
Okay, let's cuddle. We need to cuddle.
you're being silly.
You're being like a wolf.
Hey, this dog's, if you ask me, I know how to settle this.
There is only one way to solve the problem.
Checker.
Guards, can you clean up this mess?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
I dropped my cards. Clean them up for me.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Dorothy, come in.
Hello, wizard.
It's been a long time, Dorothy.
Yes, it has.
Have you come in your camp to be a visitor? Especially since you're with your adventurous friends from last time. Is it the witch? Let me guess, is it the witch again?
Right, but how did you know?
Oh my gosh. Dorothy, he's the wizard. He knows everything.
Even Scarecrow knows that. He doesn't even have a brain.
Hey, settle down. That's not the kind of behavior I expect from knights in training.
Did you just say knights of training? Knights of training, that's funny. That's a good joke.
These guys have been you mean you didn't tell her?
I didn't have the heart.
Well, these guys have been training here for a while now. After you left, Dorothy, I thought these guys would be great working for me.
That's great, guys. I'm so happy for you. Now, matter what are we gonna do?
I only know what Linda told me. You mean you don't really have magic powers? That's correct. Didn't we discuss this last time?
So you're a liar.
I like to consider myself an entrepreneur of sorts.
God, he didn't lie to us.
Wait. How'd you make the travel bubble if you don't have magic?
Yeah,
I'm an inventor. I use science.
What's science?
Science is like the real world magic.
Oh, that makes sense.
A little? Okay, back to business. We have to get the witch. We just need someone to her castle to see what she's up to.
I was going to send some of my best guards to go and capture her.
There they go. But how are we going to get rid of the witch?
I made an invention for emergencies.
And it's what?
I made a portal. It'll teleport the witch into another dimension. It's risky, but it just might work.
That's great. Wait, did you say risky? Wait, what could happen?
Worst case scenario, it might not work and she could be sent to your room.
No, she can't be sent to my room. That can't happen. Is there another room she could be sent to?
Lots of anything possibility.
Is there any she can be sent to without magic, so she can't hurt anyone else?
We're hoping that she's sent to a land without magic, so this can work.
Okay.
Well, is the portal ready, wizard? Oh yeah, Scarecrow, Lion, Tin Man, please go set up the portal. It's out back.
Yes, sir. Unhand me, you fools!
Look like y'all got company.
Yeah. Oh, let go of me! Oh, I could ruin all of you.
That Wicked Witch of the West, I believe that's why you're here.
Oh, I'm not too happy to see you either.
The only reason I'm happy to see you is so we can get rid of you.
Get rid of me? How do you plan to do that? Well, we brought you here to discuss our punishment. Oh, punishment. Have I been bad? You've been wicked. Oh, that's what I'm best at, Dorothy.
Well, your wickedness needs to stop.
And how do you plan to stop me?
I've created a portal. It'll send you into a room.
A portal? You're going to have to do a lot better than that if you want to stop me. What's your plan? Dr. Buford. Just a second.
Certainly, Dorothy. Witch, will you excuse us for just a moment?
I don't think I have much choice in the matter, do I? I thought you said we couldn't where she's going to be sent, whether it's going to have magic or not.
We can't use that instruction
How are you going to do that?
sheet. Just follow my lead.
Okay. Did you have a nice talk, my pretties? It was lovely. Now, Glenda told us everything about you. Glenda doesn't know anything. She only knows what I wanted her to know. Which was? That I was alive. She pieced everything else together herself. So, you're up to something? I never said that I wasn't. So, you're not up to something? I never said that I was.
Witch, we have no time for games.
Oh, but I believe we do. And I seem to be winning.
Excuse me, sir. The portal's ready.
Guards will take the witch away. Wicked Witch, once you're gone, I'm going to send someone of messengers to go and inspect the
No.
And we're going to
Dorothy, no.
The witch show, Dorothy, what are we going to do?
It's too late, Scarecrow. She already gone.
What do you mean? We set the portal right outside the door. Just in case the witch tried to, escape.
Wizard, there has to be a way to reverse it. We need Dorothy back.
I'm afraid not. We just have to hope Dorothy makes it out.
pretties. It seems we've landed in a land even stranger than Oz.
Yeah, and I can't believe you dragged me into this.
How else do you expect me to get back?
What do you mean?
If I have you, don't have to take me back in Oz.
No. They could just come get me, take me back to Kansas, everything will be fine.
Not if they want to save you from my spell.
Your spell? What do you mean?
Dorothy, you will do as I say and only as I say. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Good. Now, where are we?
Wonderland.
Who are you?
I believe the better question is, who are you?
Well, I asked you first.
It doesn't matter what order the question went. What matters is the answer.
Well, then why don't you answer it?
I can't answer until you answer me first.
Fine. I'm the Wicked Witch of the West, of course.
We'll see. And who might you be, young lady?
I'm Dorothy.
Dorothy, how lovely.
Dorothy, we have no time for this nonsense.
Well, I don't want to leave yet.
Well, then, Dorothy, what do you want?
Oh, Dorothy, are you hungry?
Yes, actually, I'm very, very hungry.
There's a tea party up ahead.
A tea party? A tea party?
Fine, Dorothy. We'll take you to go get something to eat. And then we need to find a way to get magic here. How do you suppose we find this magic?
Can't find it.
What do you mean?
You have to keep.
And how do you suppose I do that?
This land runs off of curiosity, and there's only one more curious girl than you.
Me?
Who?
Her name is Alice.
Alice? What a lovely name. There was a girl back in Kansas named Alice. She went to my preschool.
Kansas. What an odd name.
Oh, forget Kansas. Dorothy, we have to get moving.
Just don't want to leave yet. Anyway, how do you know you can find it?
Well, I'm not sure yet. How do we find the magic?
Can't. You can.
Me?
Yes, Dorothy.
Okay. Well, who do we need to ask to find the tea party?
Just ask for the Mad Hatter and he will help you.
Are you sure? There won't be any trouble?
Yes, Mad Hatter and his... You gotta know, Dorothy. Mad Hatter and his friends are very friendly. They don't know any strangers.
Well, in that case.
I'm tired of your riddles, Caterpillar.
That's how it is here. Welcome to Wonderland, my pretty.
Hey! That's my line, you imbecile!
My name is pronounced Absalom. Only my dearest friends call me imbecile.
Let's go, Dorothy! I'm sick of this place already. This place is nuts. There are tall, talking flowers and weird, giant caterpillars. If I see one more weird thing, I'm going to lose it.
Well, we are in a new place, and everything's gonna be weird at first. You just kind of have to adjust it off.
But this is overkill, Dorothy.
Anyway. Oh, look, there's some people in that way.
Oh,
We can ask this for help. Excuse me? I'm looking for the Mad Hatter.
I'm the Mad Hatter.
He's positively mad.
Bumpkins. It looks like you're all that way. We're all mad. That's what I just said.
Care for a spot of tea?
I would love some. Thank you. I'll let my friend there sit down.
Sorry about her. She's,
We are not friends, Dorothy. You're merely my prisoner.
Prisoner? There are no prisoners here. There's only tea.
I'm back to that.
You're killing the mood. You should really sit down. You're always so tense and angry.
Would you like some cream Cheshire Cat?
Oh, please. Yes, Mom.
Why don't you come and sit down? Have some tea.
no, you lunatics, what are you doing? Oh, no. Oh, fine. I don't want any of your tea.
Once again, I'm sorry about my friend there.
Again, we are not friends.
He's even scarier than the things we find in the forbidden forest.
That's why it's called the Forbidden Forest.
We all have called the forbidden forest because it's forbidden.
Has anyone ever broken the name?
You can't break a name.
I think she means run into the forest.
People go into the forest all the time.
The Forbidden Forest?
Whatever was in there.
They can't. It's forbidden.
I got it. It's called the Forbidden Forest because it's forbidden. Dorothy, we have no time for this.
You're not thinking.
I am thinking that. We can go into the forest and I can hide out there.
Oh no, you can't go into the forest. It's
Yeah, I got it. Forbidden. Now, how do we get there?
Well, first you go down the darkest path. You'll come to a fork.
And you'll go left.
walk down that long path for a while, then you'll reach the sign.
The sign will say, Forbidden Forest. Do not enter.
Perfect.
What's perfect is this tea. You should have some now that you seem to be in a better mood.
No food could make me drink your tea.
Plus, there's no tea. You have
Could you pass the sugar to a mouse?
One person.
2, please.
These people are lunatics.
You're telling me.
Let's get to the forest.
I can't wait to tell the queen about you.
No, you mustn't tell the queen. We have to keep our arrival a secret.
But why do we have to keep it a secret? She'd be thrilled to have you.
You'll have our heads to put on.
Oh, that's a pretty good reason to not tell me we're here. I like my head attached to my body.
No, you mustn't tell her because it would ruin the surprise.
Surprise!
What's the surprise?
Well, let me see. It's her,
It's her birthday.
Birthday?
Birthday. We love birthdays.
Great, but this is a surprise party, so we have to keep it a secret.
We should celebrate by drinking some tea.
Good
Yes.
idea.
There is no tea.
yeah, I tried telling them. They're just crazy.
Dorothy and I have to go set up for the party.
You must have our tree list. Your favorite color is red.
Dorothy, you got that?
Got it.
We have to erase any memory of us from them, or they could tell everyone we were here.
What's wrong about that? They all seem pretty nice.
That's just it. I'm not nice. And these people are more crazy than anything.
I just don't want to erase all their memory.
Oh, relax. I'm only going to erase this little tea party. They'll just
So wrong.
go back to drinking tea like before.
Okay, whatever. It's wrong.
That's your problem, Dorothy. You'll never be a good witch if you don't buck up. Now, I don't need your permission anyway. Forget what you've heard. Forget what you've seen. Forget Dorothy. And forget me. Now, we have 2 minutes until they wake up. Let's go.
Fine.
Could you pass the sugar to a mouse? Thank you.
hours. If we just take a break. Just take a break. Just take a break.
Dorothy, I'm over 300 years old and I'm still going faster than you. You're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, I see that.
Girls, what are you going to do with them?
You're a girl too. Yes, I think.
I'm a witch.
Like I said, I think.
Oh, look at this. There's a nice little building here.
So, does that mean we have to walk more, or?
Oh no, I think this place will be just fine once we clean it up.
Thank goodness.
We can set up shop here.
Shop?
Oh yeah, it's all a part of my plan. I forgot to tell you about it. You see, I figured since I have you here, I might as well make you an intern. And we can make and sell potions together.
An intern?
Yes, Dorothy, an intern. And we can call our shop Spells R Us.
Spells R Us? That's the best thing you come up with?
I didn't think it was a terrible idea.
Well, it is.
Now, all we need to do is clean up this place a bit. I have a job for you.
A job? Oh,
Yes.
Oh, right. What do you mean?
I need you to set up my spells and potions. It's just my pet snake.
Your pet snake?
Yes, Rupert's not going to bite you.
You named it?
I give all of my pets names. You just so happen to already have one.
Well, aren't you just a ray of sunshine?
Now, we're probably going to need some extra help around here. What do you think?
You can always hire someone.
No, I can't just hire anybody. We need hard, dedicated workers
Well,
that will do my every command.
you know, you could just do it yourself.
What do you mean?
You know, do the work yourself since you're so picky and specific about what you want done. Just do it yourself.
Is this something you learned in Kansas?
Yes, from Auntie Em. She always said, if you want something done so specifically and correct, just do it yourself.
I guess you're right. I'll make workers.
No, that's not what I was suggesting.
That was what you implied, though.
Not really.
Now, I think you've curiosity yourself up enough juice for me to summon some workers instead of making them.
Well, who are you going to use?
Ah, I got it. This place is filled with stillness. Give me workers to help with my business.
What's that?
Those are the workers.
Those aren't workers. Those things are dead.
Aren't they beautiful?
That's one word. If you call that beautiful, you must have something wrong with your eyes.
It seems you and I have different tastes, Dorothy.
Clothing.
Now,
You're gonna need more help than that.
you're right. Some of these Wonderland residents can help us too.
And how are you gonna get them to do that? You can't just walk in and be like, I'm taking over your place and then come help me.
No, I can't. But I have some potion left over from Oz. You see, it's a sleep potion. Their bodies are able to work, but their brains, not so much. They'll just walk around like zombies.
Okay, but how are you gonna get them to work for you and act like zombies?
Well, let's see, what do I have here? Oh, I have these pins. Now, what we can do is we can dip the pin in a potion and then sneak up behind them and prick them.
No, that's not safe or subtle. Don't do that.
Well then, how do you propose we do this? You are my intern after all.
Well, there's this thing I learned about in Kansas. Another thing I learned in Kansas. It's a witch thing. You should like it. It's called voodoo. You make a doll, the kind of person you choose, and you put a spell on it. Whatever you do to the doll, the person will feel.
Interesting. You're so smart, Dorothy. You're going to make a great witch someday.
As long as I don't end up like you, I'll be just fine.
Now, my pretties, my beautiful pretties all, make dolls to look like every single person in Wonderland. Go, get to it. That includes you, Dorothy.
What? Why me? I don't like the idea. I'm the one who gave you the idea to make the doll, so why do I have to help?
That's exactly why you have to help. You know how this whole thing works. You'll be the brains of this operation since they don't have it.
You know, like I said, you could just do it yourself.